So today, Angel Reese was on the cover of Vogue magazine. Something that should be a big thing, but it's like it's starting so many dumb conversations again, and it's like the reality of the situation is again, I'll entertain it because I just think it's dumb. I like talking about basketball. I like talking about things relevant to basketball, and I like talking on the internet. And unfortunately, this type of stuff, people are more concerned about this than they are about the the actual sport of basketball right now because Unrivaled hasn't started. But first of all, we can be honest here. Angel Reese, as on the cover of Vogue, fair enough. Fair enough. Like, no one's ever going to complain about that. You've obviously got the dumb responses being like, why couldn't the whole WNBA be on cover of Vogue? And that's just like a clapback to the idiotic response from the Washington Mystics owner. One of the dumbest things I think I have ever heard was that. And obviously, that's going to be a meme for the rest of the time. Why couldn't everybody else be on? Every time a WNBA player gets everything, why couldn't it be everybody else? Like, that's just going to be memed into oblivion. And then you've got, like, people out here saying, we're not going to see peace on the timeline. They ain't going to like this one. It's like, what are people on about? It's a fashion magazine. Who cares? Angel Reese. Like, even Angel Reese's biggest hater will say, okay, yeah, you know what? Like, even the single biggest Angel Reese haters that claim she doesn't care about basketball, even her biggest haters will say will use the fact that they believe she cares more about fashion and basketball as a negative point. So no one's going to complain about her being on Vogue. Like, what are people saying? Like, the reality is stuff like this is good for the WNBA. Anytime a WNBA player's face is out there is good for the league. It's good for these players. Anytime they're on any of these big articles, any of these big things, it's good for the league. But it's just, no matter what happens, you still see, like, you're still going to see the same arguments of, oh, well, if this is going to cause World War III, oh, Fever fans won't be happy. It's like, man, it's Vogue. Who cares? Like, if they gave Angel Reese, if they said Angel Reese, if this wasn't Vogue, let's just say it was Sports Illustrated and gave Angel Reese Sports Person of the Year in 2024, then it's like, what are you talking about? What are you doing? And some of the WNBA stuff, like I'm talking about it a little bit later, it's like the top 10 most viral moments of 2024, and like 6 of them involved the Aces, and only 1 of them involved Reese or Clark, and it had them both in the same one as like number 7 or something. Like that's the ridiculous. Like, let's find the common enemy and let's go against them. The damn league media itself. And then one thing that kind of annoys me is like, and they talk about, it effectively implies, that Angel Reese is the reason why Caitlin Clark was being dressed by Prada for the WNBA draft. And, like, no, I think the general point is important, that, like, in sports is, like, how much sports and fashion are intertwined right now. I think that is a, like, legitimate point to argue. And, like, talking about how, like, this realistically, like, started back, oh geez, I don't know how many, 20 years ago. Like, I used to get a magazine. There was a monthly magazine. I think they had it in America. It was called Hoop, but it would ship into Ireland, and it wouldn't be like, it was relatively affordable. But like Jalen Rose, do you guys not remember how much Jalen Rose was into fashion? Even Allen Iverson, like Allen Iverson really was a trendsetter. He really was a complete culture setter. He was the culture, and now, in fairness to these WNBA players, they really are taking over. The likes of Angel Reese, the likes of Cameron Brink. You see it occasionally with a Caitlin Clark, the likes of Rakia Jackson, Nika Mule. I think it's a positive thing. I think it's a good thing for the league, and I don't understand why people are complaining. The only thing is like, look, if Angel Reese, her jump shot looks a bit better. Like, I've been watching her play, so it's clear that she's in the gym, and it's like, oh, she's doing all these other things, so she's not in the gym, and it's like, and nobody videos every single time they set foot in the gym. Like, we all know for a fact, we've seen it with the muscle game, we've seen it with some workouts. We all know for a fact Caitlin Clark is non-stop working out. We know that. But she's done a whole bunch of other things as well. So I think it's not fair until, I don't know, maybe 4 years into their careers to say that Angel Reese doesn't care about basketball. I think that's a dumb argument. I think that's a real flaw. It's a completely flawed argument because you'll know a couple of years into their career about that. Because let's be real, Aaliyah Boston, until for first half of her second year, regressed from her rookie year. Like, that happens, and it's like, and it's fine. Like, people are gonna have lapses. People don't, like, improvement is not like completely linear. There's gonna be times you improve a lot, and there's gonna be times where you might not improve for a couple of years. But I think we need to see it until we talk about it. And I don't understand why people are gonna have any issues with this. And the reality situation is that as much as anything, this is an entire article about how, like, fashion and basketball have been linked together, which they have on the men's side and on the women's side. So, yeah, I think this is, like, objectively a good thing for the entire W. Like, it's good that players are becoming more A-list celebrities, and, like, if you're if you don't think that's a good thing, then I don't really know. Like, I think the stuff that Caitlin Clark was doing, getting into the golf world, and what Angel Reese doing, what Cameron Brink is doing, I think you can maybe argue I can't even really argue that any of it's bad, because I think the only real bad publicity for the league is the Washington Mystics, like, owner saying that why not the whole league, or Renee Montgomery coming out there and saying, we don't want the new fans, please leave, we don't want you. Like, her going on and making an entire video about how they don't want any of their new fans, while at the same time refusing to comment about her. Like, being asked about Caitlin Clark, she was the only person who refused to comment on the Athlete of the Year post. Literally, Renee Montgomery. Like, the real problems are the media itself. The real problems are the likes of the owners, like a Renee Montgomery, like a Sheila Johnson. The owners that don't care about the league at all, like the Connecticut Sun owner. They're the real problems. Like, they are the real problems. Not Angel Reese being a celebrity outside of basketball. Because let's be real, LeBron's a celebrity outside of basketball. How many male players are celebrities outside of basketball? So many of them. Heck, one of my favorite players of all time, like, as a kid, the reason why I'm a Miami Heat fan in the mid 2000s, Dwayne Wade. Like, you can't say Dwayne Wade wasn't doing all this type of stuff as well. He wasn't incredibly focused on his fashion, like. So, like, it is what it is. Every player is allowed to have a hobby as long as it doesn't really affect what's on the court. And up to this point, it hasn't. It hasn't. If in 3-4 years Angel Reese still can't make a layup, then you can start to question this. But until then, heck, for all we know, it's just a hobby. But anyway, I'll see you guys.